Hey everyone, what's going on? It's Cody. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. In this one, we're talking about Draper, Utah. Now, Draper is one of the best places to live. I still, however, think it's a little bit underrated. We're going to talk about some things you need to know about Draper, where to live in Draper, what it's like for schools, what it's like for crime, what it's like for safety, what it's like for all of these things living here in the city. We're going to talk about the pros and cons to living here. We're going to talk about the best places to live, the places that maybe you should stay away from. To be honest with you, actually, Draper is probably going to be one of the best areas in town. There's really not a bad spot of Draper. If you're looking in Draper for a house, there's a really good chance that you're going to be in a very nice neighborhood. So with that said, we're going to cover everything here in this video. As always, guys, my name is Cody Steck, your favorite Utah realtor. If you're thinking about buying or selling real estate here in Utah, please reach out to me. My team and I service the entire state, and we love hearing from you. We have people who reach out from these videos just like this, who ask us, hey, I need some help. I need to buy, I need to sell. Can you please help me through that process? And I would love to hear from you as well. My information's here on the screen, so call me, text me, or email me anytime, and let's have a chat about the type of home and lifestyle that you're looking to have when you make your move here. With that being said, here, we're gonna jump into my screen. We're gonna take a look at the map. I'm gonna show you some of the pros and cons to different areas, what you're gonna expect for house prices, schools, and everything you need to know about that. So let's jump in here and talk a little bit about Draper. So Draper sits here on the south end of Salt Lake County. I'm gonna just zoom out and assume that people who are watching this video don't know where Draper sits within the area. So this is Salt Lake City. Everything that you see in this general area is going to be Salt Lake County. So Draper is the very southernmost city here in Salt Lake County, with the exception of Bluffdale. Bluffdale is also, further south, and Harriman out here to the west. But generally on the east side, Draper is the furthest south most city here in the county. So this is going to be the Draper city limits. You can see that it's mostly, well, it's actually kind of a weird shape, right? There's a little bit of sandy that kind of comes down here. It does kind of stick up in the hillside here and then loops around all the way up into the mountains. We're going to talk about that here in just a minute. We'll talk about this. We'll talk about so much here in this video with what you need to, really pay attention to with Draper. So there's a couple different spots of Draper that I really want to point out. You kind of have West Draper right here. This is going to be kind of more of where you find this is like where the river bottoms are. So this is going to be at a lower elevation overall here in this area. You can find some really nice houses there. There's new neighborhoods where they're building houses that are going to be, 1.2 to 1.6 million, or you can find some older single family homes that are going to be somewhere between like probably about 600,000 upwards to about 900,000 in this area. Draper is a higher end area, as you may have already noticed if you know anything about the area. Typically the homes in Draper are going to be a higher price, right? Even townhomes and condos are going to be selling for $500,000-600,000 in this area. So it's a very exclusive area. It's very nice, but if you're shopping in this price range, it's one of the best places you can find here in Salt Lake County. So you've got kind of West Draper over here. You've got the Loveland Planet Aquarium right there. I'm going to zoom in right here because you've got 12300 South is what, 123rd South is what we'd consider this. It's actually 12,300. I'm going to actually change this here because I want to show what this area actually looks like. This is going to be your main shopping corridor in this area. If you drive down this road right here, you will see that there's going to be every single restaurant, every single fast food place, every single store, everything that you need is going to be in this area. In fact, it's almost so crazy because they have so much there that it's just going to be too many things in one place, right? The traffic is really bad, especially if you go on a weekend or you go like during, lunch or dinner hour. It's very, very bad, and it can be really, really difficult to get around in this area. Now, it's not the end of the world to have to do that, but they just have so much crammed into this one little space. You can see all of the commercial development here along this road here on 123rd South. There is actually a new home development right here by Alpine Homes. Richmond American is also building a few homes in here as well. They've kind of split the development, but I think this is actually one of the most underrated new home areas in Draper or in the southern part of Salt Lake County. The homes in here are around 700,000 to 800,000 for something that's pretty nice. For a brand new home in Draper, that's actually a phenomenal price. So something that you should consider if you're looking in this general area. Let's jump back over here to the map. We're going to pull up this. We're going to search this so we can get that border pulled back up here. Now, as you move further east, you can see that it's going to get nicer. This is going to be kind of considered, like let's say the older part of Draper, right? Typically, as you move further south, the newer, the bigger the homes are going to get. If you're looking around this area, around Pioneer Road, you can find some old farmhouses in this area. Most of this area used to be farmland. It used to kind of just be way out for years and years and years, up until about the 80s or 90s is when they started developing it more and more as people continued to move south. So anything around here in Pioneer Road, you can find some old houses here. Of course, there's lots of newer houses. There's lots of farmland that's been converted into lots and sold off and built on, right? If we come back here to this screen again, You've got Corner Canyon High School right here, but look at these different areas where you've got lots, right? You've got this whole area. I believe this is owned by Ivory Homes right here by the Draper library that's going to be built. And you've got other pockets of farmland or just bigger lots that have yet to be developed, right? You've got a couple, spots in here. You've probably got room for like maybe 1 or 2 homes in there, maybe 3. You've got a huge patch of land right here. You've got another little cul-de-sac right here. There's some more options up here, right here, maybe even right here. This looks like it might be a park, but you have a bunch of different options for housing in this particular area. So there are lots out there. You can build a custom home, but you're going to pay for it, right? It's going to be expensive. Lots in this area go for 500, 600, 700,000, even for like a third of an acre or a half acre, right? This is an expensive part of town. And it's not the cheapest place to build. If you're going to be building, you're looking at probably at least $1.5 million, even for something that's just pretty basic in this particular area that's going to fit that particular spot. So that kind of covers that area. If we zoom out a little bit here, we're going to move further south, and it's going to be the same thing, right? You're still going to have the same school district, which, by the way, the school districts here in this area are incredible. Some of the best school districts that you can find. Between the east and west side of town, you've got Canyon School District and Jordan School District. Both of these are going to be great. Canyon School District is what is here in Draper. Some of the best programs and schools, at least for public schools, in the overall metro area. Canyon School District, especially Corner Canyon High School, has a really good football team. They've got a really good sports program. They've got other things to offer as well. So just something that maybe you want to look into. But overall, the schools in this area are really, really good. They may not be the best in the state, but I don't think you'd be unhappy with them compared to other areas. Now let's take a look at, I want to actually show you 2 different areas before, actually probably 3 different areas before we move on and talk a little bit more about house prices. So as you move up here into the east, more like the southeast bench, it's a little bit hard to tell on this map, but Highland Drive kind of comes up the mountain. You can't quite see it on this map, but this does go up into the mountain. You can see that right here, the elevation is much higher. Right here, as you move further south, this is going to be considered point of the mountain. So it doesn't quite look like it, but if we zoom all the way out, show you this, come back here to this map, you can see that this, well, it doesn't really show it on this, but nevertheless, you can kind of see that the mountain sticks out right here. The color is different. It should be green all the way through, but the color, the mountain range does come down in this direction and stick out, which is why the freeway goes around this particular area. So this is considered point of the mountain. If we take a look at this right here, you also have Suncrest right here. Suncrest is kind of like its own little city within Draper. It's a little bit further removed from the Draper suburbs, so it does kind of get its own little area. If you said, hey, I live in Suncrest, somebody would know what you're talking about and what that exactly means. That's actually just right up here is where those 2 homes fell into the canyon not too long ago. I think you could actually almost see it here on some of these maps. So this is actually where that ended up happening. I think it was like maybe right in here. I can't quite tell. But this is where Suncrest, you're on top of a mountain. You're going to get more snow there. You're going to get colder weather. You are sitting up at a higher elevation, which is great. I mean, you've got easy access to the outdoors. You can literally ride your bike or walk right out your front door and be on a trail in 2 minutes. But you are going to have the, added complexity, I guess you'd say, of having to drive 10 minutes down to the store, right? You're gonna have to come down Traverse Ridge over here into Draper, or come down on the south side into Highland or Alpine. Now this area actually is split. I'm not sure why it shows that Draper covers this whole area, because there is a Draper side of Suncrest, and then there's also like a Lehigh or a Highland side of it as well. So sometimes the addresses will get a little bit confusing there, but anyway, that's a little bit about Suncrest. If you want to be higher up in the mountains, you want to be out of the inversion that we have, if you don't mind getting a little bit more snow in the winter and having those cooler temperatures, then that could be a great fit for you. I also want to point out this last area right here. This is actually the old prison site. Now, this is an old picture, so this is going to be a little bit outdated, but this entire area right here used to be the Utah State Prison. This has since been torn down. Everything is gone there. They've been working on it for the last year or so. They've torn everything down. They're clearing the land, and they're going to start developing this here over the next couple of years. In fact, this is probably going to be a 5 or 10 year development. And I think this is actually one of the most underrated things about this particular area. Now, the unique thing about this is that all of this land, it's almost 600 acres, or maybe just over 600 acres. Every single bit of it is owned by the state, which means the state has control on how they want to actually develop this piece of property. Because it was zoned as a prison for so many years, that means they're going to change the zoning, they're going to change the setup, they're going to change the development to match exactly what they want. Now, there are going to be some pros and cons. I'm not saying that's just going to be this amazing thing. Of course, the state and the government doesn't always get everything right, but it does provide a unique opportunity where there's not other developers or other private owners who own certain parts of land they kind of prevent something from happening. So with this much land, they can really kind of craft it into something that's going to hopefully be very desirable. There's going to be housing here, there's going to be office buildings, there's going to be a little bit of light industrial, kind of more like warehouses for like, you know, contractors or something, just in a very small part of it. There's going to be numerous parks, there's going to be walkability areas, there's going to be you know, a place where you can, you know, you can ride your bike around. It's going to be a very well planned out, at least from what I've seen, in my opinion. It's going to be a well planned out community. They'll have a little bit of everything. They'll have shopping, restaurants, food, houses. There's going to be a mixture of higher end houses. There's going to be a mixture of townhomes, condos, maybe even some apartments in there. There's going to be just a little bit of everything here in this area, but this is something to really keep your eye on for this particular area. So now, the next thing I want to talk about here is why somebody lives in Draper, right? Why does somebody actually choose to live in this particular area? Well, there's a lot of people who are business owners. There's a lot of highly paid people in this particular area. So it could be business owners, it could be attorneys, doctors, it could be engineers, it could be people who work in the tech industry. The tech industry is just right here around the mountain here in Lehigh. If you want to live here in Draper, you're only a 10-15 minute drive into Lehigh. So this can be a very good place to live. You can get in a very nice exclusive area, you know, assuming that maybe Highland or Alpine or Lehigh itself is not the right fit for you. Draper could be that fit that you're looking for. So typically you're dealing with, you know, higher end homes, you're dealing with higher end people who have very high incomes, and it's just overall a very nice, safe area. The crime is super low here. There's basically no homeless people. You might every once in a while find somebody who's kind of up to no good, or, you know, might look a little bit sketchy, but for the most part, it's actually a very safe, very good area that's going to have a very nice, clean suburban feel. So with that being said, guys, just a reminder here, if you're looking to make a move here to Utah, whether you want to buy or sell real estate here in Utah, northern Utah, southern Utah, my team and I service the entire state, and we'd love to help you. Please reach out to me, call, text, or email me anytime. I want to be your trusted real estate resource of choice when it comes to buying or selling here in Utah. I love when you guys reach out from these videos just like this, and can't wait to hear from you. So my information is here on the screen. Please call, text, or email me anytime. And with that said, guys, we'll catch you in the next one.